Let's talk about Murph training. The first rule of Murph preparation is you gotta wear vest all the time. Might have to turn some more AC on in here. Oh, so you're not too hot, buddy. Come on, get down. So in all seriousness, I wanted to actually do a helpful video and talk about preparation for Murph. I'll make a separate video for what to actually do on the day of Murph and the day before. Things like don't shave your calluses the morning of Murph because then your hands are going to get hot and it'll be hard to hold on the pull-up bar. I also wanted to add, if some of us are a little bit OCD and a little bit of kind of overachiever type A personalities, so what can you do on that Saturday or Sunday? Between now and Murph we have 3 more weekends available to get our fitness slightly improved, and there's quite a bit you can actually do. There will be a pretty dramatic increase that normally is not real necessary, but it does tremendously help. Another big decision to make about it this time a month out is whether you want to do the workout with a vest or not. Like I was just chatting with one of my guys, and his best Murph time is 49 minutes, and he was planning to do it with a vest. And I recommend generally, if you do Murph under 45 minutes without a vest, then it's probably time for you to decide whether you want to do it or not. If you do Murph in over 45 minutes without a vest, then I would say keep doing it until you can do that Murph in under 45 minutes, because it's not super challenging. What it is a 9-minute mile, let's say, and then we do 25 rounds of 4, 8, and 12 pull-ups, push-ups, air squats every minute on the minute, and then go out and run another 11-minute mile to offset for the fatigue after the inside work. And there we are, right under 45 minutes. And that pace is at 4, 8, 12 rather than the normal 5, 10, 15. It's a much more sustainable pace on the minute. This way we don't fall off and stay consistent with it. And so planning for something like that is really well. And if you're doing it with a vest for the first time, doing it in that kind of pace helps out a lot too, because doing especially push-ups and squats in a vest, it does build up that fatigue and lactic acid, and so breaking it up into 4, 8, 12 makes things a lot more manageable and far easier to do it on the minute. And there's a lot of value to doing Murph without a vest and doing it fast, because a lot of times we get caught up in life grinding and going hard and hustle and all that kind of stuff, whereas we can be a little more relaxed about certain things. And there's a lot of value in doing things fast and unbroken and efficient. And the best Murph, the most fun Murph I've ever done, honestly, was my fastest one without a vest was 32:50, and it was quick, it was easy, it didn't really hurt that bad, and if I'm dead honest, or at least that's the memory of it being a couple of years ago, but it was just a good time. Versus the next year doing it, that was my first time I ever did it under 40 minutes in a vest. I mean, that was pretty darn miserable. But either one of those things is totally fine. I would even alternate years. 1 year do it in a vest, 1 year do it without. This year I'll probably do it in a vest, and next year I kind of want to go under that 30-minute mark and see it. It'll have to be like a low 6 mile and then pretty quick inside, and another hopefully sub 7 mile. But it's pretty doable. So if you're doing it over 45 minutes, do it without a vest. If you do it under 45 minutes, decide. If you're doing it under 40 minutes and you've never done it under 40 minutes in a vest, that's what I would do. But also, if you've never done it under 40 minutes without a vest, like, try it. It's pretty fun and good experience. So between now and Murph, what I would recommend doing as a bare minimum work, if you want to spend that extra time instead of just going, putting a vest on and going running or doing some extra push-ups, what I would personally do is do a death by push-up, because the push-ups fatigue the most. And so we do start the running clock, and on the first minute you do 1 push-up, on the second minute you do 2, on the third minute you do 3, and then 4 and 5 and so forth, and just do it in unbroken sets, so this way we don't fatigue too much. And you begin each minute also with, let's say, 5 air squat buy-in. So you do 5 air squats, 1 push-up, rest till minute number 2, then 5 air squats, 2 push-up, rest, and 5 air squats, 3 push-ups, rest, and so forth until you can't do them unbroken anymore, the time expires. I'm not going to go into the full detail of the death by, those are pretty common CrossFit workouts, but if there's any confusion or whatever, I might go make a separate video after that. And if you're doing stuff in a vest, that's another really good way to build up to doing a vest. So that's what I would do probably first Saturday. Another option would be is to do an increase on both squats and push-ups in case of where your work capacity struggles more than your push-up. And so in this case, you do 1 air squat, 1 push-up on the first minute, then 2 air squats, 2 push-ups, 3 air squats, 3 push-ups, 4, 4, and you can do it in reverse. You can do push-ups first, then air squat. But each minute, both increase by 1. And so do that. First week, don't push it, don't fatigue too much. Do it for second week, do it third week. I wouldn't even honestly do more than that. If you have a pull-up bar, there's some more creative work to be done. But to keep it simple, to do something at home, that's what I would do. And so after you do that, if you got extra time and you want to go for like a 5-10 minute jog, that'll be really good because you're already pre-fatigued slightly and you get in that, because it's the second mile where we waste a lot of time, and being comfortable going out and running when that's after some work being done first, especially with those jelly legs after the squats, can be very helpful and beneficial. And it would only take a total of like 10 minutes for the 10 to 15 minutes for push-ups and squats, and another 10 minutes for the run. So 20-25 minutes. So we'll start looking in that kind of like half Murph duration, and that can be generally very helpful. As far as the pull-up push-up work, so a lot of people will try doing things like Cindy, where it's let's go for 20 minutes, do 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 squats. Something like that, honestly, I would do as a coach to program for the class. It can be as an extra training. I wouldn't do that just because I will have something like that to prepare. We're going to be doing quite a bit of volume. But one thing that helps a ton is to do some kind of grip condition. Whether you want to start just doing a few extra sets of banded pull-ups just to your grip gets stronger. I wouldn't do too much kipping early on because it's generally pretty easy. And so doing a few extra pull-ups just to build up that grip strength is great. Doing like a death by either strict pull-up or death by kipping pull-up, but being mindful of the number of reps can be helpful. But grip fatigue is one of those things where if you fatigue your grip, your whole body fatigues. Grip fatigue shuts down the CNS to a certain extent, and so recovery from that takes longer. So that's why usually I want people to get a little bit better at push-ups and a little bit better at air squats, because the air squats will slow your Murph time down dramatically, because that's where people's run out of the engine and the lungs. And the push-ups will kill it just because if you fatigue on those, they don't really come back, and so you have to rest a whole lot more. Then the air squats don't become a problem because you have plenty of rest, but you are struggling 1 push-up at a time or a few push-ups at a time. And so something to be mindful of. So grip fatigue, you want to do a little extra, do it, but this is one of those case per case basis where it's a little bit better to work with your coach. But something like the death by can be done no more than once a week and very kind of low key. Let's say death by a kipping pull-up, or it can be death by strict pull-up or death by a kipping pull-up in the vest, just to build up that kind of work capacity on the grips while you having the vest on, with the same buy-in. So we can do something like 1 pull-up, 1 push-up, 1 squat. Let's say 1 pull-up, 1 push-up, 1 squat on the first minute, then 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. The reason I really like the death by style of preparation for things like Murph is because we learn to work out in a really easy fashion before it starts loading up and becoming harder. So when you're doing your 1 pull-up, 1 push-up, 1 squat, or if you're doing it at home, just like 1 push-up, 1 squat, and then it's 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. By the time we get to 5, 6, 7, wherever your work capacity is, maybe double digits, then it'll get hard. But the first several rounds, we can control our breathing, we relax into it, all the sets are efficient. Also, all the push-ups, all the squats, on all the squats we stand up all the way, so we don't actually turn Murph into the International Day of shitty pull-ups and shitty push-ups and shitty squats, which a lot of times you'll see the videos and there'll be all kinds of, instead of chest contact, there'll be belly and there'll be thighs on the ground and crappy half-depth squats that nobody really stand up all the way. So we don't want that. So the death by really doesn't only increase our work capacity specifically for the Murph and overall, but it also improves our form dramatically, because we can be very strict on form by the time we're in the later rounds where things starts getting a little dicier. And it builds us up without grinding us down, because only the last 2-3 sets are difficult. And also, it's extra training. This isn't full-on workout, so I would keep that fatigue down low so you don't get into that mindset of I'm just grinding, because if you always do everything hard, then Murph is hard and life is hard. And if you just train easy and relax into it, and to a certain extent relax into the pain, then it becomes not so bad. So to sum it up, this is what I would do between now and Murph for the next 3 weekends. If you have access to the pull-up bar, do like a easy death by of 1 pull-up, 1 push-up, 1 squat, 2 pull-ups, 2 push-ups, 2 squats, 3, 3, 3. And as soon as you finish kind of easy unbroken sets, you'll probably fatigue based on pull-ups or push-ups first, whatever it is. Just go out and run for a few minutes, 5, 10, whatever. I would probably just go and run like half a mile in the first week, maybe a mile in the second, maybe a mile on the third. I wouldn't go much past that. And that's it. As a coach, I already have a bunch of workouts prepared too that will build that up. So we don't want to kind of dive too far in the deep end. And once a week, a little bit of that extra will be all that you really need. But yeah, hopefully that helps, and you get to do the Murph in a faster time, in an easier fashion, and have great success. Remember, wear the weighted vest for everything. That's elite. Shoot. There.